Good afternoon, and welcome back to Asgard, and welcome back to Sky Factory 3. So I actually meant to get this video out yesterday, but family, of course, my mom's in. I know I've talked about that before, and so I didn't really get a chance to do it. Since last episode, Dark didn't realize that I was going to be setting up a wither spawner, so he did set one up over here. Um, And so we'll still set it up because this isn't the permanent spot. So possibly like next episode or something like that, we will move this onto the ship and we'll get it set up, how we want it and everything. But basically it is using constructors from refined storage, and they're piping in. You'll notice there's a refined storage line that kind of runs through here. And then there's a detector for the system that I think it's 1024 that he has it set at right now. So until it gets 1024 in the system, it's going to keep running. Right now we do have 1024 nether stars in there. And then down here we've got constructors as well. And then there's just a sequencer and a timer set up, basically to put out a signal to these, or to this line here. So we'll cover that more in detail. We'll set it up on camera whenever we move it, like I said. But for right now, I'm just going to leave it as is because we're good on nether stars. So, like for example, if I was to pull, say, 32 of these out of here, you'll notice it goes ahead and it spawns one for us, just like that. And you'll also notice it goes ahead and sits up, starts setting up another one, but it doesn't put all the nether stars in. Then the grinder is just mob grinder from Draconic Evolution. And then he's still been working on the storage system, doing crafters and stuff like that. We did get this upgraded to Draconic Fusion crafting level. Also, we did start setting up some Draconic Wireless Energy. And we also now have wireless grid set up and all of that. I did put some railings down here. And started working on this a little bit, but most of my time spent was working on the exterior of the ship. This glass, I don't know if this is going to be permanent. I was just kind of playing around with it. We're going to have glass on the front here, but I was trying to figure out a glass that looks good at an angle, because a lot of the glass, of course, is a connected texture, so I can't use glass for a connected texture here and then have a totally different type of glass or non-connected textures over here, because it looks really, really bad. So I've got to figure out what kind of glass I want to use on that. But you'll notice down here, this took forever. But I did start laying this out, smoothing these edges with carpenter's blocks, or chisel, not carpenter's blocks, and working on the belly of the ship a bit. So this thing is massive, by the way. It takes forever to work on all this stuff. I mean, this looks like a ship. It's starting to come along. Keep in mind though that exterior wise, this stuff is just the whole part of it. Above this, the floors above this are going to be more decorative on the outside. Whereas this would be, if this was a water-based ship, this would be the part that's actually under the water. So it's not excessively decorative. But I will say that this is all temporary. I'm just working on the whole work right now, and then we'll add accents and probably, especially in these upper levels, we'll have like little balconies that come out and different things to kind of spruce it up so it doesn't look like just flat. That's just whole. Keep that in mind. And then back here, I've started messing around with some of the engines on the back, adding the immersive engineering, improved windmills, and all that good stuff. So I'm not 100% sure on the location. I may actually drop these just a little bit. We'll see. I'm kind of playing around with that. I may actually drop it down to like here. Possibly. So, but anyways, that's what we've been working on. We spent quite a bit of time the last couple nights working on this stuff. Also these rooms, I've started laying these out. None of these are actually plugged up just yet. But basically these are just small personal use machine rooms. They're not going to be automated. There will be automated versions connected to the system. So at the end of the day, this is probably going to be more decorative than anything. But for example, like this is going to be an enchanting room. I was going to put bookcases down, but I decided I'm just going to wait till we get Gaia pylons. So, because that just seems a little bit more, makes a little bit more sense, because Gaia pylons are a lot better. And then over here is going to be Ender IO, and then this is going to be Psi, once we start getting into that. I don't think I'm going to tutorial it quite as much as I did in my Direwolf series, so we'll probably just touch on it, I guess. But I figured I'd go ahead and set up a room here, and we'll have like armor stands and all that good stuff for the armor. This is probably going to be like an alchemy room for normal alchemy as well as blood magic's alchemy. So just kind of got that there. This is going to be random things mod, because there's a few blocks and stuff. We could throw it in here to work. And over here is going to be integrated dynamics. I've actually never played with that mod, so I'm very, very curious about it. So I figured, we'll give it a room too. And then over here is going to be our sieving system. But I know it's not personal use, but, you know, we're still going to need a sieving system. There's a few things that we can't get with our chickens and our mystical crops. So we're going to set up a sieving system. This room is going to be decorative mods, decocraft, chisel and bits, chisel, all that good stuff is going to be based in here. Basically, it's a place that we can chisel things and store all of our junk, you know, all that good stuff. This is going to be Draconic Evolution. This is going to be RF tools, actually additions, and extra utilities. So that's what we will be doing. Once we get into Botania just a little bit, we're actually, for extra utilities power, I think we're just going to use dragon meals, because we've got a ton of dragon eggs, and those dragon meals are like 500 GP a piece. So normally I would do like a water setup, but we have so many eggs, I'm just like, whatever. We'll do dragon eggs. So anyways, that's how it's coming along. By the way, this room and this room, they're both storage for liquids and items. And then these two rooms are for auto crafting and system importing and all that good stuff. So anyways, with that said, let's go ahead and jump into what we're going to be doing today, which is a little bit more environmental tech stuff. That's one reason I wanted all those nether stars, and while we were going to set up a nether spawner today, like I said, we will cover that on camera. He just didn't realize that I was going to be doing that today. So, but we'll get back into that, promise. And by the way, for the processing, we haven't covered this, which, I mean, like I said, this series is less tutorial than my normals. So, but I do just want to quickly mention this in case you're not familiar with how to do it. But I just set up a quick recipe here. I did teach you how to make enriched sand. That's just crafted. But then I've told it if it takes enriched sand and runs it through whatever machine I tie this into, it's going to get clear glass. So, of course, in this case, we're going to smelt it. These alloy smelters are smelting. So we're just going to throw this recipe into here. And, of course, the crafter ties into the alloy smelter. And basically what we've got is, once this stuff's done, it pipes out and goes back into the system via import buses. So that's how that's set up. That's not very, very difficult. But I did just want to mention that in case. Let's go ahead and order like 1,000 of this. Sounds good to me. And there we go. We're starting to get clear glass into the system bit by bit. But anyways, the first thing that we're going to be working on today, there's two environmental tech multi-blocks that I want to set up. One is going to be in a permanent location. The other one, I haven't decided exactly where I want to put it. But I'll talk about that once we set it up, which is actually going to be the first one that we do. But we're going to set ourselves up a void resource miner. So let's go ahead and get our controller made and all that good stuff. Let's see. And to get started, we're going to need 12 of the tier 1s, because we're just going to go on straight to tier 4, of course. Just because we have the stuff now, that it's not really an issue. So while that's running, let's go ahead and get our structure blocks. Let's take a look here. Of course, we can look and see the void resource miner. We're going to need 56 structure blocks, 56 machine bases, 12 modifier cores, 5 laser cores, and 1 clear laser lens, as well as the controller. And of course, at the moment, we can't really make anything with the modifier cores because it requires mica. So we're only going to be able to make just null modifier cores. But after today, we'll be able to actually add modifiers to stuff, and that's one reason we need the Void Resource Miner, is because the nanobots that we're going to be setting up, there's no use in having them if you can't modify those cores. And you'll notice that the final tier does require nether stars. So a little bit expensive, but that's okay. Of course, you could get by with lower tiers too if you wanted to, but we're fairly happy just going straight for the top tier. And then for the lenses, different colors. You notice there's all these different colors of laser lenses, pretty much for all the different, Minecraft colors. Each lens has a better chance of getting certain things. So we're going to be going for the white lens. So if you look at the resource miner, you'll notice that it gives us increased chance to get mica, diorite, endstone, white hardened clay, and alabaster. So that's what we're going to be going for. I actually ran out of endstone. We can make endstone once we get enderman essence, but that's one essence he hasn't gotten yet. So for now, we just made it. I just made it in the barrel. Nope. You know what? This we're not going to be able to do just yet. The tier 3 and higher, because they require mica. So we're actually going to have to run the machine first, let it get some resources, and then change it over. So, fun times. I think for right now, what we're going to do is we're just going to build it onto the side of the ship here. Keep in mind, very, very temporary setup. I believe long term, kind of what I'm thinking is that we may have this on like the wings of the ship, like our void miners. Because I think I could make them fit and, kind of look like they belong, and not being too intrusive with the design and everything. So that's probably where we're going to set it up at, but we'll see. We'll see what we decide to do. So the tier 2 is how tall? 5 tall. So we'll just put the controller on top here. Then we can always just upgrade this stuff, because the tier 4 structure blocks will work just fine in this. We'll just kind of have to change up the size and the shape and everything of it once we're ready to actually do it. But anyways, you're going to want the controller above the void, because this is going to have to see the void in order to work. There we go. Multi-block assembly complete. And you'll notice that it's shooting down into the void. Now this does require some power in order to work. So what we're going to do is we're going to use our crystal binder from Draconic Evolution, and we're just going to plug it into this wireless energy crystal, because you notice this thing can connect up to 16 different blocks, or 16 other like Draconic Evolution blocks. So right now it's only connected to our IO crystal, and then in addition it can connect up to 64 wireless links. Now we did have to put in another fusion crafting injector, because it does require 9 different things, 5 on one side and 4 on the other. So we did have to adjust that just a little bit. But right now it's just plugging into the machines that are over here, and then also our fusion crafting injector. But let's go ahead. We're going to grab that, sneak right click it, and then we'll just come over here, sneak right click the void resource miner, and so now this has power. So it should be able to work. Power always goes into the controllers. Now, the range on these, I couldn't find the exact range in the Draconic tablet, but it is very, very far. You'll notice that it can shoot all the way across the room, and it is a very, very good distance that it can access. So anyways, I think we're going to use the black ender chest line. All those ender chests have importers. So let's get... Oh, this area can actually get mobs. How interesting. But we'll just set up our ender chest like right here, I think. Let me grab that stuff out of there. Basically, this will automatically output to any block that's like above it, and will also import into pipes and stuff like that. So you can pipe out of it if you want to, or you can just smack your chest right on top of it and it'll run just fine. But you'll notice that it's starting to get some materials. Ever so often it's mining the void and grabbing some stuff. There's dirt and all of that good stuff. But It is going to take it just a bit, you know, to actually get the mica and stuff that we're going to need probably. Alright, we did get a couple pieces of mica, 3 pieces so far, but it is taking a while. So we're going to go ahead and make ourselves a speed modifier. Now there's 2 different modifiers that you can apply to your void miners. I believe it's still, yeah, it's just 2. There's speed, which is going to make it quicker at, you know, gathering those materials and all that good stuff. There's also accuracy, which is going to increase the accuracy of whatever you have your lens set at. You can, you know, you can bump it up and have a better chance of, in this case, getting mica and stuff. But we're going to go for speed because long term, I'm more interested in having speed so we get a full, you know, array of different things, more so than you know, worrying specifically about the accuracy, because once we get the mica that we need, the accuracy is not going to be that much of an issue because, you know, by tomorrow we'll have tons of mica, so it's not really going to be a concern. The speed is more what I'm interested in at the moment. So let's go ahead and get ourselves a speed modifier. And those modifier cores that we made before, what we can do is we can just switch those out. We can snag that and trade it out for speed. So now it's going to get things a little bit quicker. It is still not the fastest in the world, but moving forward, this will have, I believe, 8 speed modifiers on it. There is a little bit more of a power drain, but power is not really a concern for us at the moment, so we will probably upgrade our power before too long, again, just so we have more power coming in and everything. But anyways, I'm going to let this run for a bit. I'm going to trade all these out for speed modifiers, and I'll be back shortly. Alright, so let's go ahead and upgrade this now. We've got our 2 Void Resource Miner Tier 3s, and we'll just move our controller up to there, I think. Multi-block assembly complete. Good stuff. So now we have the upgraded, the Tier 4 Void Resource Miner. We're going to go ahead and link up power to that, and we'll put our ender chest down. You'll notice that we're getting items, and we're actually getting items a bit quicker now than, of course, we were before. So I'm going to go ahead and upgrade these modifier cores. There we go. That is full speed, and you'll notice that it's getting items very, very, very quickly now. With full speed, it runs just crazy fast. And the void ore miners, pretty well the same. We will set up some of those because I know of at least one thing in particular that we're not going to be able to get with, you know, without the void ore miner. But for now, I'm not too concerned about the void ore miner. The resource miner will be plenty for us. And you'll notice it's not really even draining any power from this. So we're going to let that run while we start working on the stuff for our nanobots. Alright, so I went ahead and made our hardened stone structure blocks. I think I'm going to use hardened stone for the structure blocks, and I'm going to use basalt for the machine bases. I do believe. And you'll notice we're getting a ton of mica and alabaster, the stuff that's actually filtered for the, you know, for the ore miner, or resource miner, I mean. Now, for the nanobots, like I said, we're going to go ahead and go straight for the tier 4. We do need 80 structure blocks and 60 machine bases, so that right there is 80 nether stars. You know, just bam. And for our nanobot beacon controller, there's a few things that we're going to need. We're going to need a beacon, and actually, let me see, we're going to need quite a few of these. That's 2 tier 1s, that's 4 tier 1s, 8 tier 1s. Okay. So we're going to need 8 beacons, and then we're just going to go ahead and make a stack of brewing stands, just because I don't feel like bothering to count it out, you know. Modifier cores, there's our 8 nanobot controller tier 1s. So these things are, getting into nanobots is fairly expensive. It is a bit more late gamey than, you know, a lot of other things. Let's go ahead and just get a stack of modifier cores. Because we're going to be needing those in a minute anyway. Not quite that many, but... And we'll go ahead and get our 4 tier 2s, tier 3s, and then finally our tier 4s just require a bunch of nether stars and mica. And there's our tier 4 controller. So the last thing that we're going to need is modifiers. Now if you take a look here, this is where nanobots, I mean, it's all stems from the modifiers. You'll notice the tier 1 has 4 modifier cores, then it's 8, 12, and then 16. Tier 4 is absolutely OP. It really, really is. So, there's all these different modifiers here. Basically, from here on over is all like modifiers that relate to nanobots. So, we're going to need a few different things. First up, I want to get saturation. Saturation is probably one of my favorite modifiers. Now, you'll notice that we're going to need a couple golden apples. But then in addition, we're also going to need some chorus fruit. So I'm going to have to run to the end real quick. Maybe. I don't think anything would spawn in the end, though, because it's a void. Okay. We actually have to hammer this stuff out. So we're going to go ahead and just grab ourselves an auto hammer. And for right now, I'm just going to plug it up, like, right here. That's fine. We can throw this end stone in here, and it's going to break it down for us. Let me grab a couple diamond hammers. Just because this will speed it up just a little bit. We'll throw those in there. And it's going to start getting crushed end stone for us. And then what we can do is... let's grab ourselves like a sieve. And then what we can do is we can run this crushed end stone through here. And that's how we're going to get our chorus fruit. Or our chorus flowers. Is by sieving this end stone. So, it's going to take a second. Let's see. And for the record, it's only a 2% chance that you'll actually get this stuff. So it may take a little while. But that's what we're going to wait on. Now, in addition, while that's running, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the other modifiers that we can get. So, saturation, you really only need saturation 1. That's perfectly fine. But keep in mind that you have 16 modifiers to adjust with these nanobots. So, flight is another one you can get. And honestly, I'm probably going to go ahead and snag it. And that's just because if I decide to change armor, I'm not tied into... always having to wear this Supremium stuff. So it is, to me, it's kind of nice having it because you have plenty of modifiers to play with. So there's our flight modifier. Now there's also night vision. Night vision's absolutely wonderful. We are going to need some potions of night vision in order to do that. So let me grab a brewing stand. Honestly, a few of these would be nice. So I'm going to set up like 6. Alright, I've got all those creating awkward potions for us. So... the golden carrot, we are going to need 2 of these because we're going to need, 4 potions of night vision. So we may as well go ahead and make 6 of those just so we've got them. Now next up, there's haste, there's strength, there's water breathing, regen, resistance, jump boost, fire resistance. Let's go ahead and get regen. It'll take potions of regeneration, which take gas tears. Not a problem for us. And we did get our potions of night vision. So let's go ahead and do our night vision modifier. We'll go ahead and snag all this stuff out. And there we go. We got our night vision modifier now. And I'm actually going to go ahead and just set this stuff up because you don't have to actually have everything on hand. You can add the modifiers after the fact. By the way, this thing runs incredibly fast. Importers with full speed upgrades can't keep up. So if you take a look here, it's going to be 6 high. It's going to be an 11 by 11, and the height is going to be 6. So I've got a little area set up here, and I know this episode's running long. I do apologize, but we're nearly done. By the way, if you shift right-click with the assembler, it'll break any environmental tech stuff automatically. And there we go. That's what this thing looks like. Minus some of the modifiers. We still have to do 14 modifiers in this. But aside from those, that's the actual shape that you're going to end up with. And there's a regen modifier. Now you can add additional ones of these if you want like 2 regen modifiers. That's fine too. Personally, I'm probably going to do 2. Just because regen is great. It's wonderful to have. And... the stronger it is, the better, I think. So we'll go ahead and get 1 more of these. So there's 2 regen modifiers, which would give us regen 2. And so now we still need 12 more modifiers for this. Oh, we finally got an ender shard. Man, this stuff is just so rare. It takes forever to get this stuff. Now next up, let's go ahead and... I don't know if we want water breathing. Let's go ahead and get it just in case we decide to... Oh, pufferfish. Do we have any pufferfish? Oh, we have 2. That works out perfectly. We'll go ahead and get water breathing just to have it. It's one of those things, I really don't see us using it in Skyblocks. But the fact that it's there, we're going to go ahead and snag it. And then let's go ahead and get fire resistance. Once again, just because we can. And there's also resistance. Resistance is another one that I actually do want. So I'll tell you what I'm going to get. I'm going to get some books and quills. And we're just going to get it with the enchanter. And we're going to go ahead and go for like resistance 2. At least. Okay, it's dark steel. So we do have dark steel essence. So we'll go ahead and snag like a couple stacks of that. And we'll get our protection books. And these are actually kind of expensive because they take 64 dark steel each. But that's okay. I don't mind. We have, you know, dark steel is pretty well free for us at the moment. So, with all of our essences. And we still have room for like 8 more modifiers. So, still quite a bit to add. We haven't added any haste, strength, jump boost, or fire resistance. So let's add some of those. Oh, rabbits. I think for fire resistance, we're going to go ahead and go for a level 2 on it. And we still have room for 6 more. So I think we're going to go ahead and get like haste 2, strength 2, and then probably jump boost 2. just to have it. So the haste modifier, we're going to have efficiency 5 books. And I can't remember what, I think it's redstone, maybe? And you'll notice that this does take a lot of alchemy. It really, really does. So, just keep that in mind. Oh my gosh. I swear, this stuff takes forever. There we go. Chorus flower. Haha. We'll put it right there. We're going to let it grow for just a minute. And kind of, you know, get some area, because I don't want to have to try to get another chorus flower now that we've got one of those. So we'll go ahead and get our strength modifiers, and then we're also going to want our chorus fruit so we can get our saturation. This is probably one of the most important ones, I'd say. There we go. We can get our saturation modifier. So right now, we have 12, right? Or no, 14. So we're 2 short right now. And like I said, the modifiers that I'd really like to get, I think, is just the jump boost. Like 2 of those, so we'll have like level 2 of like everything. Now night vision and stuff like that you don't need 2 of. And regen, saturation, there's really no reason to have 2 on it. So jump boost is what I'm going to aim for, but we got to get rabbit's foot, and that's going to take a little while. So for right now, we're just going to do modifier cores with no actual modifier in it. That's fine. It doesn't have to have anything. It's just you won't get that, that extra effect. But that's fine. Until we get jump boost, that'll be okay. So we'll go ahead and just throw these in there. And there we go. Multi-block assembly complete. And now it's not wanting to let me fly because it's trying to, trying to check this thing. But let's go ahead and bind this for power. And there we go. You'll notice a bunch of buffs just showed up. We have night vision, water breathing, strength 2, resistance 2, regeneration 2, haste 2, fire resistance 2, and saturation. And you'll notice that my hunger filled up. I never have to eat again, ever. And if I was to take off this supremium armor, we would still have flight. If we dive into water, we can breathe underwater indefinitely. So now we've pretty much reached the point of being like super OP. When I got this on all the mods, it was like, okay, well, you pretty much win the game. Congratulations. Because it is, it's a lot of buffs, and it's all the time. Basically, it just uses up a little bit of power to keep it running. You'll notice that, we're starting to see it kind of balancing out, starting to try to drop and stuff, but I really don't think that our engines are really pulling that much power right now. Yeah, see, it's kicking on and off, but it's still not, it's still not pulling, all that much power realistically. So, yeah, we now have nanobots. And like I said, once we get rabbit essence, I'll get, I'll make some jump boosts too and throw those in, so we've got that as well. I mean, realistically, jump boost isn't that important because how often do we jump? We're usually flying around. But just for the sake of having it, we'll probably throw it in there. But anyways, I know the episode's running long. I do apologize. And with that, I am going to end it out. Next episode, we may move the wither spawner because I know I want to cover that with you guys. So I'd like to do that on camera and kind of just move it and kind of show you guys how it's set up. If we do that, we'll probably do something else in addition because that shouldn't take all that long to do. But anyways, I hope you guys join me for next episode. We will be starting Botania before too long because there's actually a couple blocks that I want that are tied into other mods that require Botania. So at least some basic Botania. We don't need it to be, we don't have to have it like super over the top just yet, but we will probably start that before too long. But hopefully by next episode, the bottom base of the ship maybe will be done. And I have some really cool stuff to actually put into the base of the ship. I think you guys will like it. And we'll probably be getting into that before too long as well. So anyways, I hope you guys join me for that. And until next time, as always, do take care, stay safe, and I hope to see you guys then.